Good morning. Today's episode we're going to show you how to distill some mash that we've made with sugar and yeast. The equipment I'm using, 6 gallons. It's called the Essential Extractor Pro Series by Brewhaus. Stainless steel, used it several times. It works really good. I've made up mash using 13 gallons of sugar and a packet of turbo yeast. And what we'll do now is take the yeast mash, pour it in here, get it on here, assemble the still, and show you how to do it. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is take the funnel. It has little ridges on it so the air can escape as you're pouring the mash into it. This is 21 liters, about 5 gallons. I like to pour it slowly, and when the yeast starts to come off the bottom, I stop. So now we have yeast for the next batch.
Okay.
Okay, what we're going to do now is get the still on top of the burner, and it takes about an hour for it to reach temperature where it starts to distill. So we're going to do that and then assemble the column. So what I'll do now, and the stainless steel chain that comes with it helps the boiling process. So I put that in there with it, and let's get this thing fired up. Crank it all the way up. Okay, the burner we're using is Bayou Classic. They're found everywhere. A lot of turkey fryers use this kind of stuff. So it's very common. Hook it up. Got a gas regulator here. As you can see, it started pretty simple. Turn it on so the flames don't come around the side. I've got an aluminum plate on top of it to support it. What we'll do now is get this thing going. Alright, next we'll put the column together. The column is packed with copper wool. Column. It's nice and got some pipes at the front and the top for cooling. We pack it with columns. We pack it with copper wool. Just slide them on in. Two-part column. That was the top, and here's the bottom. It has a nice mesh on the bottom to keep the mesh from falling into the still. So fill that up with the rest of the copper wool. Then we assemble.
Okay.
Rubber gasket goes on, part goes down. Don't need to tighten it very tight, there's really no pressure on this. And the top one. Usually a little more difficult. Probably roll all those things out. Sometimes it helps that. Alright, that shows you how to do this. Next we'll do the cooling system for the column. The plumbing for the cooling system consists of a bunch of rubber hoses. These are used for the carbon filtering. We'll do that in a later episode. What I have here is a bunch of hoses. This one is the product line. It goes on the end of here. The product comes out. What I have here is a wireless thermometer. It tells you what temperature it is, so you can put this on your belt or put it inside, and this goes on the column. I need to put a battery in it. But I put some tape around it so it doesn't fall into the hole in the top. A pump for the cooling water. Got this at Home Depot in the outdoor part. You have to make sure it has a head. It's one of our requirements that'll reach the eye. You have to pump the water from the water up to the top. So I have a nice cooling water reservoir at the pool. I'm going to put this in the pool, pump it in, put the hot water into the jacuzzi. So I'll put that up in there. You have to have a power supply for this. The rest of these hoses, this one, this is water for the cooling system from the pool. This here. Wouldn't really like it. Goes to the waistline. And what we do is the product comes this way, so we have the water running counter current. So it runs this way, and then it runs from the bottom to the top. Put this on the outlet side. These other lines just continue the flow of the water. Comes from the pool up through the column, out of the top of the column, into the bottom line. Excuse me. Counter current means it flows everywhere. So this would be from the top to the bottom, because the product runs uphill, so we have to run the water line down. And this one takes it back to the waist. Alright. All the hose connectors have these little clamps, real easy to work with. You just squeeze it together, slide it over the metal part. Squeeze it, slide it, and holds real well. I'll just finish doing that for the rest of it. Alright, I've got batteries in the transmitter for the thermometer. It starts coming off at 174 degrees Fahrenheit. So we connect the transmitter and we tape it to some nice line here. And lift the nest there. Okay. Alright. And you take the transmitter with you wherever you go. Alright. Okay, we want to make sure that the water works before we need it. So I've connected the pump to the lines. I'm going to check the pump. So we put this in, I'm going to go over here. Pumps in the pool. Water comes up. Water comes up and goes through the lines. And you can see the lines filling up. And then it goes down to waste. It goes back into the pool. Now that's all you need. Now we just wait until the thermometer reaches 174. We turn this off until the thermometer reaches 174 and we come back. Okay, the remote temperature sensor has started beeping. That means it's over 175, so we're going to go turn the water on. Silence this alarm. People are going to wonder what the thing in the pool is, don't you think? It's an LED light. It appears to be a flame at night. It has a solar cell in it. And it works really good. Let's get it out of here. So now, what I've done is what happens at first. We have product coming out. And this is called the tops, I believe. Oops, let me get it. And this is the lighter stuff, the methanol and acetone. Stuff that you really don't want to drink. So you throw this away and you start collecting. And this is about how much I collect. This is maybe a little bit more than I usually collect. But this is trash, it goes down the drain. And the rate of collection. Let me show you what it drips as. Not too fast, but a constant steady stream. And this usually takes 4 hours. I'm going to collect a sample every half an hour or so and determine the alcohol content. And I can show you the longer you go, the lower the alcohol content. This has been collected after 15 minutes of distillation. Looks about like a quart. We're going to see what the alcohol content is. What I have is a Witter alcohol content meter. You just drop it in. Hopefully it'll be right up here at 95. Get turned around. It's about 90. 93. What do you think? Looks like about 93. I've collected another aliquot 15 minutes later. I turned down the fire on this, so maybe I can get it up closer to 95%. Let's see what it turns out to be. This turns out to be almost about 92%. It's still not bad. Took another sample about 10 minutes later. Let's see what this alcohol is. Alright, this next batch is 90%, so it's dropping just a little bit every time. Alright, the next sample looks like it's about 87%. Okay, the next batch I've taken off here looks like about 82%. And it looks like we're about at a gallon. And it should drop as time goes by. Alright, the thermometer has reached 185, so that's where I'm going to call it a day here. I'm going to turn the still off, and that's all I'm going to collect. I got a little bit over 1 gallon out of 5 gallons. So that's pretty good. And the last percentage was down around, what, 85%? Alright, it's really simple to shut down. Turn your gas off. You have to wait for this to cool off before you pour it in the yard, or you'll burn all your grass. The voice of experience here. So I just put it in the pool and let it cool off. So what you do now, you're not collecting any more product. You go like that. Your last bit of alcohol, and then we'll disassemble the still. Okay, that last batch we took off at 185 looks like it's about 71%. Not a bad day.